Hello and welcome. I'm Michael Gukas, Chief Economist and Director of Analytics for Gardner Intelligence, here to share with you this month's April 2020 results from the Gardner Business Index survey. For the month, the index fell to an all-time low of 34.2. For the last 2 months, we've seen one of the greatest drops in our recorded history, going all the way back to late 2011. If we look at the components of the index, we'll see that the index was led lower by new orders and production. We saw a significant contraction in backlogs as well. We saw less of a contraction, though, in employment and export orders. One of the things that, of course, you'll notice is that supplier deliveries continues to move higher. And one of the things that we should be very clear about is that the way the supplier deliveries question is asked is, are your deliveries longer, the same, or shorter than in the prior month? And why that's important is because in a normal economic cycle, we would see backlogs building up in the upstream industries that then lengthen supplier delivery times. But in this case, COVID-19 has simply disrupted so much of the normal workings of the manufacturing economy that we're seeing longer delivery times because of that, rather than because of growing backlogs and strong demand for upstream goods. If we look a level deeper than the overall components of the index, and we look at manufacturing processes, we saw that for the month, all brands reported a steep contraction in business activities. It was led lower by mold making technologies, and among the brands which saw the least amount of contraction, it was composites. But overall, we saw generally very steep declines across the entire spectrum of manufacturing processes. Examining our data by end markets, among the 24 end markets which Gardner tracks, we saw that the least amount of contraction occurred in the medical end market field. We saw, however, that the greatest amount of contraction occurred in the petrochemicals market. And there's a twofold reason for that. The first, of course, due to a sharp decline in demand for petroleum products in recent months. But secondly, because of the glut of oil on the market as Saudi Arabia and Russia contest one another for a single strategy on the supplier side. Additionally, I want to share with you some data that we track on capital expenditures. And this is a measure that we don't often talk about in the business index. It's not actually part of our business index, but it's an important measure of where the manufacturing industry is heading. If we look at expected cap spend, at the beginning of the year, cap spend projections were fairly in line with historical norms. But since then, looking at the data through April, we've seen somewhere around a 25 to 30% decline in expected capital expenditures over the next 12 months. The decline does bisect. It varies based on company size, as we observed. Smaller firms actually plan on decreasing their capital expenditures over the next 12 months by a slightly smaller percentage than those firms which are at 100 employees or larger. In the coming months, we look forward to sharing with you additional insights as we receive them through our survey. On that note, I want to thank you, our survey participants and subscribers, for filling out that survey faithfully each month. We thank you for your insights, and we appreciate the opportunity to turn those into actionable insights for you in the coming months. To learn more about the Gardner Index, I would encourage you to visit our website at gardnerintelligence.com. You can also visit our LinkedIn page and Facebook pages for more information. Reporting the April 2020 Gardner Business Index, I'm Michael Gukas, Chief Economist.